Brodes Media.
What is going on, everybody? Good weekend for the Phils. Good weekend. It didn't start out very pleasurable. Friday night, I had to witness Taijuan Walker again get shelled. A home run allowed in the second, followed by 2 home runs allowed in the third. I also had to deal with Bryce Harper doing the Hawk 2 celebration on second. Poor base running following that. Nick Castellanos with an error in right field, even though he followed that up in the 8th inning with a solo shot to make it a 1-run game. In the 7th inning, Bryce Harper hit into a 1-2-3 double play. What are the odds? What are the odds that that happened? But while the fans were not feeling great, Game 2 was an absolute beatdown. 12-1 and kicked their ass. I mean, they handed it to the Diamondbacks. And then on Sunday morning, 11:35, what a beautiful first pitch time, by the way. Christopher Sanchez throws a gem. When there's pressure, after signing an extension, he walks onto that bump, allows no runs, walks no hitters, and goes 7, throwing only 80 pitches. Could have easily had a complete game shutty. So what a weekend. Thank God they won the series, because I wouldn't be able to handle Arizona coming into your town after Game 6, after Game 7, after Zach Wheeler, after Aaron Nola, and they just come here and beat you up while the Braves are sniffing right behind you. After they take 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, I would have been down bad. Forget the Braves for a second and forget what they did in the Bronx. It's more about my hatred now, my new hatred for the Diamondbacks. And I say new because I have 3 takeaways from this series. And my first takeaway is I never realized how much I truly hate everything Diamondbacks, and it will be that way for the rest of my life. Now, every time I see the Diamondbacks, even though I despise their manager, and even the days where he's no longer with the organization, no matter who's on the team, I will always reflect back to 23. So my first takeaway of this series is, wow, I didn't realize the lifetime hatred that is about to happen for the Diamondbacks for me. It is what it is. I'll never be able to shake it. And quite frankly, there's no reason for me to ever shake it because, well, let's be honest. I'll be 96 in my coffin, open casket. Brooklyn's going to be looking at me going, Dad, I can't believe you're not here. And I want her to know that the second she looks into my eyes, I'm thinking, Brooklyn, I love you to death. Thank you for everything. And number 2, I can't believe in 2023 they fucking lost. The Philadelphia Phillies are doing everything in their power to try and save face with Taijuan Walker. Is there a blister? Probably. Is the blister as bad as they're making it out to be? Probably not. Are they trying their best to bench Taijuan Walker, but have an excuse ready in the back pocket so whenever they go back to Taijuan Walker, or whatever the future holds, they're not throwing him under the bus? They are very aware of how the fan base feels about him. He's not performing well at all. So, how do we do this methodically? Instead of just admitting that we want Spencer Turnbull to get some run, instead of saying that Taijuan Walker hasn't held his end of the bargain, so we are now going to give Spencer Turnbull an opportunity who has respectfully given us 3 innings of no earned run ball, or 3 innings with 6 Ks. We've seen that out of him out of the pen. And based off of what he was doing when the season first started, it's his chance. We've given Taijuan every opportunity on a golden plate, and he has yet to make the most of his chances. So it is now time. Instead of just openly admitting that that's the case, they're trying to junk it up a tad to not throw Taijuan under the bus. That's where we are right now.
Well, he struggled, Command was off, up in the zone. Through a few more splits, just percentage-wise, but just seemed everything was hanging. He was getting behind in the count and then having to come after people, and everything was up in the zone and hittable. So, But I know he's working at it, and I know he cares. And that's why I have patience with him and, probably sit down with him tomorrow and just to make sure he's healthy. So we'll see. Well, that's why I want to ask the question, because it looks like he's trying to create it, and that's when he gets the misfires. So I just want to make sure he's healthy.
Now, when have you ever heard Rob say it like that? I want to see if everything's okay, and then all of a sudden, after they decide that, maybe we'll check in on him, he has this blister problem. In the same night that he says he feels fine, Taijuan says he feels fine, now all of a sudden he's on the 15-day IL. You know what I'm smelling? I'm smelling a little phantom injury. I'm smelling a little bit of nothing. All right, so Wheels was awesome. No surprise. Bounce back performance after the disaster against Corbin Burns against the Baltimore Orioles. Nick had 5 RBI that day. Bryce had 4 hits. We're watching back-to-back homers. Alec Boehm providing the long ball, too. So some really good stuff out of the Phils on Saturday. Hot day. There was a time in that outing, actually, where I thought maybe Zach Wheeler was getting fatigued. He was getting tired. Maybe the heat was getting to him. But there you go. I'm all right. There you go. Don't worry about it. We good. And it was pretty much all she wrote from there. Nick again on Sunday morning. Starts the game off nice and early. 1-0 lead Phils. And David Dahl, when you need it most, helps out with insurance. From there, Christopher Sanchez did his thing. I'm all in on 11:35 first pitches. That was great. Throw on WIP for a little pregame action. I'm a big fan. Have a cup of coffee. Throw on some Phils. It's a good thing, man. So I just loved it, essentially, is what I'm getting at here. All right, so you want my third takeaway? I'll give you my third takeaway. My third takeaway is I'm in on Nick Castellanos. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I'm in on Nick Castellanos. Don't get mad at me. There is a way to salvage this thing. 5 RBI in one day. Not 1, not 2. 5! His batting average is now up to a whopping 226. That home run he hit was a piss missile. So was Bryce's, though. But I'm telling you, my third takeaway is there is a way to salvage this Nick Castellanos experience that sounds miserable, that sounds pathetic, that looks awful at times. There's times of excellence. There's times of taking over. There's times where he helps you win a game. He sets the 5 RBI. They won 12-1. He had 5 ribbies of his own. Come on, dude. He sets the tone on Sunday. 1-0. It's a rubber match. Take a listen to MLB Radio, who's been constantly talking about the fight in Phils, and they were speaking about not just Christopher Sanchez and his contract extension, but who's next?
Tend to think that Dave has been working on this for a while. I have also heard they've been working on Ranger Suarez, who's a free agent after 2025.
Oh! So let me get this straight. Dave Dombrowski brings Aaron Nola back after he hits free agency. Then Dave Dombrowski gives Zach Wheeler a nice extension, so he's solid, he's locked in, he's solidified. Now you shore up one of the best number 4s in all of baseball, and here's Ranger Suarez about to get tacked on too.
Well, as much as we like Christopher, I wouldn't be telling you the truth if I was telling you last year at that same time when he first came up, even though we liked a lot of things about him, that we'd be sitting here and he'd have enjoyed the success that he did over the last year. I mean, what he's accomplished has really been phenomenal. I mean, he has worked hard. He's worked with the staff, followed the leaders. You can see his growth. Rob Thompson, the pitching coaches, the strength and conditioning people, the trainers, and everybody felt that this growth would only continue to go. And in addition to that, the work ethic aspect of it. So those are just as important, because you don't want to have anybody, Christopher, or anyone, sign a long-term contract and rest on their laurels. Well, that's not him. He just wants to continue to get better and better and better and be one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, and feel very much that he'll be able to accomplish that.
I love it, dude. I love it. And you know what that kind of reminds me of? And I want to give all the credit in the world to Christopher Sanchez, because if Dave Dombrowski, of all people, is giving you the 2 thumbs up on this guy's work ethic is tremendous, there's something about that just from his own individual mental makeup and his balls to try and improve that much, and his studying of the game and the details, the emphasis that he puts on his own craft. It doesn't happen if he's not wired that way. So credit to Sanchez just from an individual professional athlete standpoint.